The weekly meeting hosts and participants assume no responsibility or liability for any errors or omissions in the content of this episode. Any mentions of real people or actions are alleged. The information contained in this podcast is provided on an as-is basis with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.
Thanks, Daddy.
I like the sexy maids.
We'll make a round-faced boy.
Now, Shaggy, can you please say, "Give me your cummies" in that voice?
Give me your cummies.
Alrighty. Everyone, welcome back. Weekly Meeting, episode 17. Today, as always, Shaggy is here. Say hello, Shaggy.
Hello, hello.
David, again, as always.
As always, yo.
And our special guest of today is Nicole. Nicole, would you like to go by anything other than Nicole?
No, keep it straight.
Okay. And we'll get a little more into who and what Nicole is in our interview portion and a quick introduction
Primarily
before
what?
we jump into the news. But yeah, more.
Yeah, a big fat what?
Yeah. But before we dig into it, we'll start off with what happened this week. Intro Nicole here. We're going to go straight into the news. So, man, are there a lot of news topics going on right now. It's hard to get through some of the political stuff, but we'll at least mention it. And then we've got alligators, some butt-chugging, the man lost at sea with a little twist. We'll interview Nicole here, who is, I guess, a fashionista. Is a good? Is that a describer for you, Nicole?
I feel like I'm in the Bratz world. Yeah, probably.
It is Brat
Sure.
Summer, isn't it? Isn't that a thing?
It's more of a compliment than I give myself on a regular basis, so I appreciate it.
And we'll go to a game that I found on the internet. I don't want to spoil it, so I'll let you get to that. Then wrap up with Dean's fatherhood segment and Brennan talking sports. So let's get into it. Wow.
Dean is a daddy.
Ooh. What happened this week? I'll start us. I guess it's been a couple weeks since we recorded, mostly due to I had a wedding where all of these beautiful people were at. So about 2 weeks ago, we finally finished our foyer, whatever, into being fully married, the last event of anything, and everyone's frozen.
Uh-oh. Are we actually?
We're good now.
Okay.
Oh boy, I think we're just standing really still.
I think you were just standing really still. Anyway, I got married. It was a great time. It was like 4 of the best days of my life. I'm glad everyone was there. I'm glad everyone that was listening could make it. I'm sure if you're listening, you're probably there. And then my big boy, big cat Burn, he had to get one of his canines ripped out because when he was sprinting for food, he stepped on my groin and then ran into my knee. And so knocked that tooth loose, and he's been eating wet food and stinking up the house for the last 2 weeks. And boy, am I ready to be done with wet food.
Poor guy.
But yeah, poor guy. He's fine. He's a little baby. David,
It's a little guy.
what happened?
Are we doing just this week, or are we doing?
Since we last
You're going
recorded,
back a
whatever
little
you
bit,
feel
so
like
I'll
talking
go back
on.
a little bit. All right. Yeah. So I guess some animals just can't keep healthy. So my dog, who is also named Danny, which we may be changing because there might be like an omen to that name. But she tore her ACL, which for a dog is a CCL, in her left leg, the exact same as Dan here did. Doing God knows what. She's a little corgi, so I don't think she was being too athletic doing it. But yeah, so had a 60% tear in it. My parents were watching her before we had the surgery, so they had the last bit of her kind of hobbling around before it. And then once we came back from the wedding, picked her up, drugged out of her mind. Like just that fentanyl drip she was gone. Have been taking care of her and all them staples in there. But she's doing better. It's good to see that. This week has been absolutely disgusting outside. I can't fucking breathe. I feel like I've been smoking a pack a day.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah,
Fires.
damn fucking Canadians.
beautiful in Oregon.
They're goddamn fires.
What's coming down from Canada?
Because it always comes here because it's a basin. So like everything just swirls right in here and then it just gets all nice and nasty. But yeah, I tried to have some baseball practice yesterday and was dry heaving because of how fucking dry my throat got.
Are you sure you're just not a little out of shape now? Is that
maybe potentially?
How much practice do you need before you know how to play baseball?
Yeah.
Well, you just got to keep warm, That's the big thing.
I did know
because at our age, you are going to be tearing some stuff if you're not moving a little bit.
Yeah,
like we aren't fucking just Gumby anymore.
I was listening back to the Cads O'Callaghan episode where you first introduced the baseball season. How's that going?
It's going all right. First year, so we got not really a pick of the litter. It was kind of just who we can get. So we're learning from it and everything. It's not going as good as we were hoping.
I thought you had some killers on the team.
We do. We also have some not killers, so kind of evens out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's still fun. It's still a fun time. It's just guys going out and just guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes.
Just dudes being guys being dudes, man. That's baseball.
Hell yeah, that's baseball. Oh yeah, we also went to some wedding. That was kind of fun too. Yeah. I destroyed my toe trying to do the worm.
Nicole, did you just that?
That's what, yeah, he was like, I said, no, I'm just but I might have done it. There's no evidence. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it was a fun fun wedding. I shed one tear at one of the speeches given. Mine, just kidding. No, it was your brother-in-law's.
That's fair.
But yeah, that was a fun little time. I enjoyed it.
All right, Nicole.
But yeah, that's a lot of that.
What happened this
My
week?
turn?
Yeah, your turn. We always do Shaggy last because he has a eventful update every time.
He never remembers what he's done.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. I'll take over. I want to go back to the wedding because I was at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy enough. I know. I'm shocked as well. It was so fun. First of all, I'm sick and tired of these weddings not having a full open bar, and you guys did, thank God.
That was a
because beer and wine doesn't cut it. So when I got my 5 gin and tonics in, I was a happy camper. So what? I can't do that on beer. It's not good. It's not fun. I did see David hurt his toe doing the worm. You did come up to me right after and whisper in my ear, I think I just fucked up my toe. Very cool. Glad I was there. Glad I was part of that. I'm feeling very proud. But I've just been traveling a ton. So I went to New York right before Oregon. And then my parents came in town right after that. Not so fun. So this week, I've done nothing. I went to bed at 7:30 last night, which is a record early time for me. But I did get ice cream this week, which is also exciting. That's literally all I've done. And I do have an image if you do want to put it in. I look very good.
I will be putting that in for sure,
silly.
actually. Yeah, I did look at it.
Thank you. So that's it. Really boring. All I do is work. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Shaggy, big update.
Oh yeah, man, it's been crazy. Nah, I mean, this last week's been about the same as it always is. But week before that, the wedding was awesome. I'm originally from Oregon. Got to see some family out there too, but I had a lot of fun. I think my highlight personally was scaring Jeremy driving back from the elopement because it was a really curvy road. And I was sober. Jeremy was not. But I was taking those corners, man. I was going fast. And it was fun. And he was laughing at the end, but it was a good time.
He gets a little nervous.
Just a little bit. Before we left, because, it was curvy coming up, and you can't really go fast uphill, but you can tell how steep it's going to be coming back. Before we left, he's like, yeah, I've had 5 or 6 glasses of wine. So you might want to take these turns just a little slow on the way home. And I'm like, yeah, totally. We had a little VW rental car. And I was like, nah, we're going to put this thing to its limits.
Turning green in the passenger seat, like hitting his head against the window.
He was
bro.
on the road. But yeah, it's a good time. It's a good bonding experience.
David, I wasn't expecting that.
Is that not Jerry?
It's all said with love, Jerry. I don't know if you would listen to these, but
I'll say it with love.
Bro.
Absolutely. You have your catchphrase. I'll say that.
We just did the no. What's that? Was that you, Shaggy? we're moving on. We've got to keep going. We can go down that rabbit hole all day.
I will say with that curvy road, I did have Dev in the back, and Dev, wine drunk, just passes out. So I was just looking back every once in a while, just seeing like and
baby.
just still out of it. Like
he's playing Jello by himself.
Yeah, he's like, and it wasn't anything except his head. It was just having an exorcism or something.
I'm so glad I got to see most of you guys wine drunk, because wine drunk it's not fun to be, in my opinion, but it is damn fun to watch. Eyes droopy, just slurring every single word. The head is barely attached to the rest of the body. You were grasping wine cups from the top. Just, you're not even your own wine. You go up to people, talk to them, chat with them, and then just walk away with their entire glass.
Yeah, I was an animal.
An animal. It was awesome. It was a beautiful sight.
All right. Thanks, everybody. That's what happened this week. And we'll go to our short Nicole introduction before the news. All right. Nicole.
Yeah.
I'll go down the bullet points on the agenda real quick here, and then I'll look to you and tell me if you have something to add. But this is technically our first Texas takeover episode because, as we all know, David lived in Texas for all of 3 hours. And then you're from Texas. So this is 50% from Texas is winning right now.
So we're really considering David being from Texas?
He says he's from Texas.
Hey, they shipped me out as a newborn in cargo in the flight, and then I showed up here.
There we go. All the way into Texas. Wow. So Texas takeover. How does that make you feel, David?
It makes me feel good. Is this the first Texas takeover?
Oh, it is. Think anyone else from Texas?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I was thinking of wearing my Prescott jersey, but
it's not football.
I'm sitting down already.
Look, Texas has some beautiful things. All right. They've got the frozen margarita.
That's a Texas thing.
Pretty good stuff.
Doesn't everyone?
That is a Dallas, Texas thing specifically.
I mean, I feel like maybe Dallas just got blenders before Mexico did.
Probably. But Chili's started in Dallas, Texas. Come on.
Luby's.
We got Whataburger. What else?
Luby's and Whataburger.
Don't talk to them about Luby's.
Oh, boy.
I'll be forgetting Luby's.
I'm curious. What is Luby's?
No.
Beautiful wonderland of cafeteria-style restaurant.
Yeah, if I said it tasted like World War II, would that be offensive?
Bland.
You don't like Luby's? I know. Luby's is a love it or hate it. I enjoy a chicken fried steak from there. I will say that.
Would you do a Luby's or a Golden Corral? Which one's better?
Golden Corral.
Luby's.
Oh my God.
What are you talking about? Maybe it's because I just go when I visit, and I haven't visited in a while, so.
David, I haven't seen someone below the age of 65 in a Luby's ever.
Shaggy, the Texas.
We show up. We show up and we show out.
Keep you stuck in the fire.
This was supposed to be a short introduction.
Shit. Okay, sorry.
Nicole, currently what's your official position at Snag Collective?
My official position is director of operations.
Now that's pretty high up.
Take that with what you will.
I believe
whatever the saying is.
I'm wearing a Snag Collective hat today that I purchased previously. Yeah. Are you as well there, David?
That I am.
Which one is it? You can only see the back.
It's the Denver one. Now, those are both discontinued styles.
You
so
can
that's
see the tag, though. The tag's important.
Yes. There we go.
Perfect.
David wears that every day, and I'm damn proud of
Yeah,
it.
I actually do. I wear this a shitload.
We'll talk a little more about Snag Collective in the official interview of it, but what's your 10-second description of what it is, Nicole?
We resell, like buy and resell vintage hats and clothing, and then we also manufacture our own hats and made-to-order embroidery and sewing designs that we post weekly.
Awesome. David, whatever you just drank was thick.
Yeah, protein, bro.
Just do you put like
No
water in
scoops.
it?
No, dude. Full milk.
I saw it slide down
It's
the
just powder.
Oh,
Soylent Green
Full
is
milk,
people.
dude. My stomach is churning that. Just give me a little while.
You're like, I have spit. That's water.
that's true.
I don't need
Yeah,
anything
so there
else.
you go. I just spit in it.
I
Yeah.
got a flat mouth.
Wet my whistle with it.
Oh my.
Okay, Nicole, as a now former streamer, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least for the time being.
Yeah.
Yes.
Long hiatus at the very minimum. Former
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Twitch streamer Kimsey.
Yes.
And then do you have other quick life notes here? What is your other quick life note?
Oh, I got a dog. And so you'll see him in the background of the video. I felt like I had to point him out. I put pictures in there in case you wanted to include him.
You can throw some in.
He's a silly boy, a silly guy. He's 7 months. His name is Joey. It's Joseph Fadrizi, full.
Fadrizi?
Sometimes we call him Jojo Siwa or Josephina if he's being really sassy.
Okay.
But he's unfortunately not in frame right now, but he's a good boy. He's an excited pisser. Not ideal.
Aren't we all?
We're working
Same.
on it.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited as in like someone walks in the door, or excited as in like you go outside and it's a powerful stream?
Oh, I wish it was the latter.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's the former. He pissed on a customer's shoe yesterday. My boss was not happy.
I mean,
Sick.
sometimes it happens. I bet the customer wasn't
Still-
that upset. Were they nice shoes?
no, and they
yeah.
bought stuff. So whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
You just got to say that's how he shows someone that he loves them. And then
Exactly.
it might
Ad
soften
for
a little bit.
Gore-Tex.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you guys could
That's
start
what I
selling
should've done.
shoes. Dog-proof
Oh.
shoes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then Joey be the
Call it your
sponsor.
tester.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Joey
Mhm.
collection.
Have the first
Joey collection. That could work.
have the first pair just have like a pea splash coming across the yeah. I think this is
We're going
the
No
idea.
way,
real,
wouldn't it
real
be
literal
the-
with it.
We'll make some
Yeah.
merch.
Wouldn't it be the Joey Collective, though?
Ooh.
The Joey collective. The
Or do
Joey
you just
collection.
keep everything? Okay.
He doesn't get anything. No royalties. I mean, I give him food and a shelter, and that's kind of
That's
enough.
your royalty.
Yeah, that's his royalty.
You
Good
get to
pets.
survive.
You get to survive. Maybe you get to drink a little bit of my Coors Light every now and then.
Ooh.
I don't know.
All right.
We're feeling spicy.
Very nice.
Thanks, Nicole, for the quick intro. I think we just keep on rolling into our weekly news and mini topics. All right, welcome to the weekly news. We're going to start with the thing that everyone has been talking about because we have to. Welcome to an election year. I tried to find news for the longest time, and I could simply just not escape any kind of political stuff. So that whole Trump shooting thing was pretty crazy. It happened on my wedding reception day, so that's kind of a memorable little nugget.
Yep.
So Chabo has dropped a note in here. He could not attend today, but he always needs to include his little thoughts. He said, "This is a classic scare tactic by 9 Black Clouds." We still don't know what that is. "They needed the president to know that they are in control. $20 says it was RFK that made that decision. Him leaking that call was just to show Trump the Kennedy family is still in charge." So now that I've read that, I might just cut that.
I mean, you would think if the Kennedy family, actually, hired a hitman, they would have chose a guy with better aim.
Yeah, and not a high
Yeah.
schooler.
How
Yeah.
many members of the
Yeah.
Kennedy family are still alive and not lobotomized?
It depends.
that
It
up
depends
for
on like what age of Kennedy's.
Say again?
Because there was the ones, of course, Robert and John that got shot. There was Wutsy that was in the car accident. I think one was in a plane accident too.
Tough.
Kennedy's
That's
still
tough.
alive.
Rip for sure. Yeah.
Carolyn Kennedy the only member of JFK's immediate family who is still alive today. She doesn't look like she's done a lot. That's probably why she's still alive.
Technically, Arnold Schwarzenegger's kids are part of it.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, Maria Shriver. She's a Kennedy.
I don't know who Maria
I just
Shriver
learned
is.
something new.
Yeah, well,
Like,
his ex until he cheated on her with the housemaid.
Oh, okay. I mean, you have a bunch of money, and that just seems to be what happens.
You know a lot about
I
Arnold
like the
Schwarzenegger.
sexy maids.
We'll make a round-faced boy.
She does plants very well.
Now, Shaggy, can you please say, "Give me your cummies" in that voice?
Oh, Jesus.
Please give me your cummies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On with that, still the political little bit. On the flip side, Biden has dropped out. I'm not going to read the other Chabo input here because I'm not willing to spread these kind of conspiracies.
It's okay. I will. Okay. He died of COVID, and they are using AI to fill in until they fake his death in a plane crash in early 2025.
Okay.
See, the thing about that is, right, it would be better if say if he did die and Kamala took over, she's now the 47th president, and it just ruins all of Trump's merch.
True. Yeah. Just do like
he's got to
when you
reprint
forget
so
what
much stuff.
Yeah, forget what year it was, and you wrote a 7. Just kind of like trace and
just
8
give it a
into it.
squiggly little
Yeah,
eight
just
in
kind
there.
of get that little half circles in.
Don't mind the straight line.
All right.
I don't know.
Y'all did see real quick though, going back to the Trump thing. Y'all did see the video of like the head movement, right?
Yeah,
like the simulation thing of how him literally moving at that moment because the bullet was going to go like through his temple, through his entire head, but the second he moved, is like his ear was in position for it, and it was the most insane timing.
Insanely lucky.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All because they couldn't put secret security on a sloped roof because, slippery.
So many videos show people recording him as he's getting set up too.
Yeah.
They're like, what's going on? And talking to the cops, they're like, yo, like this isn't usual, is it? So,
yeah. The fact the Secret Service didn't find that sooner is just wild.
That's
not a good look.
ball on their part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Our second one here is justice for Albert the Alligator. So the little Shaggy, do you want to give us the rundown on Albert? Are you willing to do that one?
Yeah, I can open the link real quick.
Yeah.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
Joey's included now.
Jojo Siwa.
Everyone stare at Shaggy.
I like
reading.
that the second bolt.
I'm a little dumb, all right? Give me a second. Yeah, don't judge me, all right? I like presenting first. Oh, fuck. I'm going to read about this alligator. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, an upstate New York man whose 750-pound alligator was seized is suing the State Department of Environmental Conservation in effort to get it back. Saying the agency was wrong not to renew the license for the pet that he looked after for more than 30 years. So that's pretty
The thing I think I took from this was it sounded like they didn't ask the dude. They didn't like go and knock on his door. They pulled up a truck to his little pond, jumped out, wrangled this alligator, threw it in the thing, and took off.
What's crazy, this is in New York. This isn't even Florida.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Florida, that's just an average Tuesday,
New York cops know how to wrangle an alligator? Or I guess
one of them probably does.
Yeah, I guess at least one. Yeah, there's one guy from Florida.
He transferred from Florida. 100%.
Yeah, he's like, woo-hoo! That's it.
Ain't his first rodeo.
It is upstate New York, and I kind of feel like upstate New York has its own version of a Wild West, but I could be wrong. I don't really know shit about
It's
it.
a lot of trees. A lot of
trees.
Yeah, it seems like there's weird people up there. When you get too rural, people do some freaky shit.
That's like West Virginia rural, though. I don't think New York rural is the same.
I mean, either way, I think if you get behind enough trees, you automatically just start doing weird shit. Because who's gonna know if a tree falls in the woods? Does anyone hear it? No one's gonna hear you
making
an alligator out in the woods.
I was like, where are you going to take this? There's many funny routes.
I
So.
kept it safe.
Okay.
So I actually know that Chaba did a little more research into this one. This dude runs a reptile farm, I guess, and he put in here specifically. I don't know if these numbers are right, but Chaba said at least he can still have his 20 pet snakes and 10 pet lizards to keep him company.
But he
made
doesn't
a
have the biggest lizard.
Yeah, I mean he did lose his big lizard. Crocodiles are lizards?
They're reptiles.
Yeah.
Now that's a question.
At what point
right,
in
let's see.
size does a lizard just become something else?
A dinosaur?
I don't.
Is a Komodo dragon a lizard?
I would
think,
say
yeah,
so.
Komodos are. I think they might be the
Okay.
biggest though.
Hold
Are
on.
you looking
Well,
this up for us there, Davey?
I'm looking. Alligators are
Define
reptiles
lizard.
in the Crocodilia order.
Oh,
So yeah, like
It's its own
caimans, gharials, and of course crocs.
Hold on, but the definition of lizard is a reptile that's typically has a long body and tail, 4 legs, movable eyelids, and a rough, scaly or spiny skin. I think a crocodile is a lizard.
Alligators have 5 legs.
Or
so
alligators.
that
Do they have 5 legs? Boy,
Yes.
you never see that
What's the
fifth one.
fifth leg?
It's,
Oh, you'll see the
it's
fifth
hiding.
leg.
what are we
You gotta
considering the
flip 'em over.
fifth leg?
I've
Okay.
I've spent a lot of time on the internet, and I have watched a wide range of animals getting it on, whether it be turtles to other things in this world, just by
Turtles are
nature of
wild.
browsing Twitter and Reddit and things.
Yeah.
Never seen an alligator one though.
Yeah. Not big on gator.
Is that on
corn,
your
huh?
bucket list? Or yeah, are we trying to hit that goal?
He's into the reptile stuff, not the crocodilia stuff. Come
It's
on now.
fine.
We won't
Yeah,
say
gotta
what
get
I'm
that.
just a curious human. Okay, I mean, you
What
gotta
subsect
try
of
everything.
bestiality is that?
See a lot of DIA underground NSFW search
Yeah.
tag.
The lizard people, that's a big thing. That's
Yeah.
another. We're back to politics already.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh, that's one. If lizard people and humans had sex, would that be bestiality?
Depends on what beast. I think it's like they have brains. That's intelligent life.
Are you
They're still
considering
lizard.
lizard people their own, like, are they part of the human race, or are they considered
I
their
don't
own
know.
race?
People. How could they be a human?
Are they
Is
like
it-
a hybrid of both?
If they're half human, how human do you have to be considered human? 100% human?
Is there anyone that's not 100% human?
The slutty Argonian
Well, I don't
maid.
know.
Well,
Is there
actually,
any-
I have a
Are these happening
transition
in
out
the
of that.
upstate woods of
You
New
do.
York?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they
There
took
is-
Albert away. He was
Yeah,
trying to make
that's
lizard
it.
people.
That's it.
Pure speculation.
Crocodilia people.
What you're saying, trying to make lizard people, Chaba did put in here dominate them as a species, which is a callback to a popular show, I believe, on Cartoon Network, called Shark Lords, where they're trying to dominate the sharks sexually. So Chaba's on top of it. He knew we were going to get here.
Yeah. My main goal is to fuck the shark.
He's got it.
Is this
That's
the guys
show.
on the catamaran?
Yeah.
No,
Oh my god. No.
Everyone go check it out.
it's
It's
trying to
on
have
Hulu,
sex
I
with
think.
it. We're not making love. We're having sex with it. It's not about sex. It's about dominating the species.
I take it you haven't seen this, Nicole.
No, and that's sad because I've seen a lot of Cartoon Network shows, big, like
It's-
even
It's
child or
not
adult
sad.
animation
Don't
person.
get into it.
It's on a bit
Are
show
you
called
sure?
Cake as a whole. The Cake is the show, and then you find Shark Lords.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I still haven't seen the show, but I'm familiar with it. So at least in the realm.
Nowhere to look.
Oh, I know, Cake.
Speaking of people who are not 100% human, this leads us into a woman in Georgia butt-chugged a marg in a Rodeo Mexican restaurant, which
Only the
caused
classiest.
the Rodeo Mexican restaurant to release a statement. I don't think I've ever seen a restaurant release a statement before. They probably didn't need to do this. The news was enough. But
Maybe Rodeo Mexican Restaurant was just a fun way to say 3 margaritas.
yeah, I mean,
So I feel like
has
if there's
probably
any
happened before.
place socially acceptable to butt chug a margarita, it's probably a 3 margaritas.
The Rodeo says, we recently became aware of an inappropriate incident that took place in our restaurant. We want to make it clear that such behavior is completely unacceptable and does not reflect our values or mission to provide family-friendly dining experience. We're taking this matter very seriously and are conducting a thorough investigation in collaboration with authorities. Any employees found to be involved will face appropriate action. We are committed to maintaining the highest standards and ensuring a safe, enjoyable environment for all of our guests. Thank you for understanding and continued support. Sincerely, Rodeo Mexican Restaurant.
Yeah. So where did she butt chug
I
it?
think the lady just requested rice and beans and just gravely misunderstood the request.
What? What does that even mean?
I don't think I want to know. Is the thing.
Okay. Where did she butt chug it? Was it in the bathroom or was it just like everybody, watch out! I'm about to butt chug this margarita
In the booth. Not even at the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, in the booth. They had a funnel.
She's classier than that.
Did they bring their own funnel, or was it supplied by an employee?
Well, I have a question for you guys. If you didn't open the article, when you read butt chug, what do you think that is?
I think a beer bong or just a straight bottle in the rear.
For some reason, I picture a Coors Light.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Like a bottle of Coors Light. Like.
So you're saying you're thinking like a funnel's being used?
Yeah, you have to make contact
with like a tube. Yeah, it's something to get it up in there and just kind of let nature take its course.
Yeah.
I mean, if it says poured in there, that's important because I know some people butt chug with like tampons. That's different.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping you were going to have a boofing article, but there was no boofing to be had.
This episode is severely lacking on the boofing. All right.
There was severe boof lacking, and I'm severely disappointed.
So, Nicole, we have a wide-ranging audience. Will you describe boofing and everything that you're talking about right now?
Yeah. So, boofing is a beautiful term, basically where you insert some sort of illegal substance up your asshole in order to get high or drunk faster.
Illegal?
Yeah. Does it have to be illegal?
It could be legal. It could be illegal.
But we talked about crystal boofing. Are crystals
I was gonna say, we
illegal
were
if you
boofing
shove them
crystals.
up your butt?
You missed an episode, Nicole. Yeah, we had Bella on and we talked about crystal boofing.
What'd she say was a benefit?
Did she say there was a benefit?
I don't know if she was entirely into the butthole part of it all.
I think the question was, have you heard of crystal boofing? And she was like, oh, yeah.
I want to butt chug a crystal. That's on my to-do list.
Crystal
How are you going to do that?
I'll get that pink lemonade.
I don't know, but when I figure it out, tell you what, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you.
Show this topaz a place it's never seen.
Yeah.
Say topaz?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only crystal that came to mind.
Moving on, unless there's last bits here. I think we've covered.
I mean, would you still get a brain freeze if you butt chugged a marg?
No.
Like I'm thinking, when I think marg at like a Rodeo Mexican restaurant, I would assume it was a frozen margarita.
Mm-hmm.
And just like butt chugging a frozen margarita, do you get a brain freeze? Do you get like a prostate freeze? What's the vibe there? What do you get?
Depending on if gravity is working and you're still saying down with the head down, it could make its way all the way through. And
I think it starts at your tailbone and just kind of works its way up your spine.
Yep.
Nice.
That moving way too fast. Well, okay, I see what you're saying.
That sounds like real science.
Yeah, I think it could happen. Yeah,
I trust it.
We need Mythbusters on this.
I know.
Next episode, let's watch David butt chug a frozen margarita.
I don't know if Spotify will let that one on.
Yeah,
that one might
not censor
work.
it.
We can, blur it out.
Yeah, just a little uncensored on our Patreon.
I don't know if this was one of you guys or if this was a Chaba input to the agenda. He says, "What flavor is this?" in parentheses. So, do you get a flavored margarita?
That's a house marg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say house marg.
You're not getting some strawberry.
That's the most cost-effective way to go.
Yeah.
Like you, I don't know.
if you're butt chugging something, generally you're not going for the classy top shelf stuff. I think. I think
how you
you're
butt
going
chug
for
Coors
whatever
Light?
does the job. Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
Coors
that's
Light.
fair. That's why I picture Coors Light. I think, yeah.
Yeah, Coors.
Item 6 on this. We gotta eventually stop with the butt chugging, but item 6 on this that follows the question, "What flavor is this?" is, could I also get some chips and salsa with that?
They gotta
Butt
have some
chugging
sort of
chips and
special deal.
salsa.
Please tell me you're not butt chugging
what
a
are we
tortilla
doing?
chip, though.
Just grind it up.
Yeah.
Real
Salsa
fine.
though.
Nah, full triangle. Just fucking sharp.
Shove it up there. Hear it
Okay.
cracking the whole way.
Okay.
I'd pay for
Block
that.
is extra.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like some queso with that?
Oh, no pico? Okay, don't worry. Sorry, let's continue.
Back to more serious topics.
Where's my burrito?
Gonna bring it back down here.
Smothered.
We're gonna land. Okay.
No. Oh, wait. Okay, one more thing on
Oh my
that.
god.
One more thing. Okay, food-wise, what Mexican food would be like hard enough that you could try and shove it up there? A burrito wouldn't work.
Taquitos.
Like,
It's chimichanga.
like chimichanga. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, something fried.
Yeah.
You get the most in there.
That or a
Okay.
taquito. A taquito would be easier.
Oh,
I agree.
Chimichanga would be the real challenge.
Taquito.
Taquitos
That's
for
a good one.
beginners, chimichangas for veterans.
Yes.
Depends on
exactly.
how new you are to the food butt chug scene. It's however, I mean, personally, that just defeats the whole purpose, right? Because like, it's just in and right back out. Don't get tasted.
Doesn't even change shape.
Yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. That was amazing.
Shooting back out.
What an episode.
All right, that's
everybody.
it. That's it.
Here's the transition into the next news topic. How about that? Ready? Wait for it. Is this going to pick it up? Yeah?
Nice.
Oh,
That
that's
sounded
pretty
pretty
good. That's crispy. Yeah.
A nice
Beautiful.
crisp
That was
beer pop leads us into Man Lost at Sea. So, Nicole, I know you put a note in here. Did you read the article as well, or do you just want
I
to
read
start
it.
with? Okay, you go ahead and present this one then with your extra note added.
I mean, okay, so this man, we'll call him, was lost at sea. He was lost at sea for 438 days. And like the whole point of the article is that the family of his crewmate is suing him for $1 million because they're speculating that he ate the crewmate to survive, which
Ooh.
begs the question, when you're in survival mode, is it murder? If he killed him? If he just died of natural causes, is it an issue?
I think it's okay if he died of natural causes and then he eats him. I think if he murdered him, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
That's like
I mean-
did y'all ever see the movie about the rugby players or soccer players from Uruguay, I think?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
Uruguay trying to fly into Chile, plane went down, and like I think less than half the passengers survived, and they did turn to cannibalism, and a lot of those people are still alive today, and they're seen as like kind of heroes at this point. So
Yeah.
I think it's, if it's natural
I think they're
causes and you're
making
not
a movie
actually
on those
killing
guys.
anyone.
Ooh.
The what?
Also, aren't you in international waters? So like,
Do laws matter? Yeah.
yeah.
He kind of what? Yeah, that's
I mean, if
true.
you're lost at sea, then you're probably an international. Yeah, it doesn't. What does it matter? What are you suing him for?
Well, either way, he didn't actually kill him, or at least that's not what he's claiming. He's claiming that his buddy died of
Yeah.
natural causes, and then he ate him.
He's
So it's
claiming
like-
that he ate him.
Yeah, what do you mean?
He says that he ate-
Are the
thought he said
family
that he, like,
claiming that he
threw
ate
him
him?
I don't think he's claiming it. I guess the whole thing is like, if he didn't kill him, but still there was evidence that he ate him, it could still be inexcusable because he didn't kill
Like
him.
they didn't find a body or anything.
No, not
Could
that.
be
Not
very
that
hard
I
to.
read.
Okay.
But I think that it's because he wrote a book.
Okay. So they're like, you made money off of the death of our family person, and so we are entitled to some of that.
Probably is the approach.
I don't think they're winning that one.
But
what's
the the second part. Go into it.
Note here.
Well, if you keep reading,
Okay.
then it just says, man says best sex he ever had was while he was lost at sea for 438 days, which I was like, whoa, this article just flipped
I didn't
a
read
switch.
that.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. So anyways.
Someone found a new fetish.
Yeah, I picked up an octopus.
But I don't
full
know
deep.
if that's like even
The
part.
deep from the boys.
The thing is like what I'm confused by is that's not even part of the article, so I don't know if it's real. Is that just like?
Oh, it's at the very end. Okay, so
Then
this would play lots in game. He would play lots of games with the constellations. When he saw airplanes go by, he'd imagine things. Okay, so he is sitting there and just hallucinating because he's hungry and starving and sitting out in the sun. He described Franklin, the guy who died, as a badass fisherman who partied his brains out and had 3 girlfriends, and imagined them walking down the beach and flirting with girls. It's this alternate reality that like he kept himself alive with, where he had imaginary meals and the best sex he ever had. Just sitting there.
No, he was just hallucinating the whole
But
time.
he was hallucinating. Yeah,
Okay.
Made the sea a little saltier.
Hallucinating to keep himself alive.
What do you think he was hallucinating about? Was it just a bukkake
Best sex
fest
he ever
or?
had.
It's a fat cheeseburger.
Bukkake
And
fest?
yeah. How is that the best sex he ever had?
Just clapping some alligator cheeks.
I guess that everyone has their thing, but I feel like Jonathan, is that his name? Jonathan, who's a fisherman, probably isn't thinking about a bukkake fest.
Hey,
Just
Who
missionary with the wife I love.
imaginary wife, I'm assuming.
All right, shall we wrap up our weekly news? Nicole, are you ready for an interview?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's do it. What do you want the AI image of you to look like? Oh, Nicole, welcome to your interview. We're going to start right immediately. What do you want the AI
Amazing.
image transition for you to look like? Describe it.
Ooh. Somebody who's dominating her enemies.
Dominating is in like the
Dominate the
previous
species.
thing that we were talking about.
No. I was gonna say interpret that the way you want, but now I'm scared.
Are we?
So
the
I'm gonna
enemy?
say
I'm scared.
just crushing them in a not sexual way.
You're gonna be like mud wrestling an alligator.
Yeah.
Okay,
Real Mad Max Fury style. How about that?
there we go.
Okay.
That'll work.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good.
We can make some image from that. That'll work easy.
Cool.
So Nicole, I
Yeah.
believe, I guess we first met while we were both still attending CSU. No, we had graduated from CSU.
Yeah. We met during COVID
Yeah,
playing Jackbox games, not even on Discord, on
Google Hangouts.
Meet?
Google Meet.
Google Hangouts.
Yeah, Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
But you did go to CSU, like myself and down below me or wherever it is in our video, David,
Mhm.
and a collection of other guests. So throwing back to that, you were a fashion major, correct?
Yeah, I studied fashion and business, but I did study fashion.
And like, what did you learn? What kind of classes do you take as part of that? Because I think that's a unique experience that most people don't really have. Like, some people know
Mhm.
gen science classes, gen engineering classes, but fashion's a pretty unique one.
Yeah, I mean, there's like two different sides of the fashion major. You can study actual fashion, like I want to be a fashion designer, right? Or you can study the merchandising side, which is I always classify as the business of fashion. So it was still a lot of business oriented classes. You still had like your basic accounting and all that jazz. But on top of that, you had textiles classes where you learned about different fabrics and how they work when you burn them, when they get wet, all that good stuff, as well as like a lot of supply chain that was specific to fashion. And then some other fun classes like managing the fashion show that we had every year, and also all the Adobe programs. So a lot of digital work, creating CADs, creating flat designs and InDesign, all that good stuff. So it was kind of fun, a little more creative.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting. I kind of they made that whole new fashion building like as soon as we had left CSU, which is kind of a bummer. But it's a
Yeah.
very cool building, so go you Rams out there, check it out. Um, that kind of leads into your work, unless David or Shaggy have more to add on CSU fashion stuff.
What's the hardest textile to get a hold of, as like fabric wise? What's the weirdest one?
Silk.
No.
Real silk.
That makes sense.
Mm.
Worms.
Yeah. Pretty much. I guess fur. I mean, if you consider like the fur trade not being as popular anymore,
I think you could.
but I would still say silk.
I think, yeah. Would you say that faux fur and fur are kind of equal at this point, or can you still kind of tell a difference?
I mean, you can tell the difference. We
Yeah.
actually just at my job now, which we'll go into, we just got like 100 vintage furs,
Ooh.
and you can tell that they're real and they're very nice. And then we do have some like vintage furs that are faux fur, but still designer level. And yeah, you can tell the difference, but it's not, I mean, it's not something like you shouldn't have a real fur coat unless it's already made or a hand me down.
I want to get a mink jacket.
Yeah, I
A
get
new
that.
one,
Yeah.
some fresh mink.
Oh yeah, fresh.
mink.
I want to see them kill them in front of me. And then,
Oh,
That seems
right.
too far now. Keep that whole section out.
Boy, I just can't wait to strangle some minks.
Can't wait for it. Seeing
Whoa,
that
whoa,
is
whoa.
the main thing. Just getting a jacket out of this.
Minks are
A
just
little
cheaper
extra.
ferrets, dude. Come on.
Dude's afraid of peacocks. And he just
Ostriches, dude.
You weren't in my state of mind.
All right, Nicole, work stuff.
Mhm.
So we were leading into it. You want to tell us about Snag Collective a little more than the 10 seconds you gave us earlier? Your start behind it, the start behind it. Really, anything else on that vein? Just go off.
Yeah. So I would say I don't even know if it's the most interesting thing about me. It's probably just the only thing about me these days is my job, unfortunately. But I work for a company called Snag. It's a startup. It's a true startup. So when I got the job, I was the first full-time W-2 employee hired for the company. Now we have 10 full-time, 5 part-time, some contract employees, all that good stuff. But I basically found this company on Instagram, followed them. 3 weeks later, they posted saying, hey, we need someone to ship some stuff, maybe do some marketing, clean toilets. And I was like, sign me up, baby. I hate my job. So I go to this interview. First of all, I'm wearing like a full suit, right? I'm looking real good. Walk in, my now boss is wearing a Patagonia t-shirt, socks, no shoes, just socks. There's a dab pin right next to him. And I go, yeah, I'm going to like this place. This is good stuff. This is for
Was he
me.
not wearing pants?
He was wearing pants. He was wearing
Okay,
shorts. I
good.
don't know. They were just basic basketball
Important.
shorts. Nothing to note, unfortunately.
Mm.
But you get the vibe. Just doesn't give a shit kind of vibe. I'm wearing beautiful two-piece, looking fly as hell. Anyways, we are an online marketplace mostly. We also do have a retail storefront in the Denver area, but mostly e-commerce. We resell vintage. That's how we started 7 years ago. It started in my boss's dorm room, actually, just kind of selling vintage online. And we sell vintage clothing and hats. But that's not really our bread and butter anymore. We're more of like a manufacturing company now, which sounds kind of boring. But the cool thing is we make our own hats. We specialize in corduroy specifically, and everything is made to order. So we make our own designs. We put them online. If you buy it, then like I'm probably going to touch it, right? Because everything has to be embroidered in-house, and then we got to finish it in-house, ship it out of house, all that good stuff. So
Yeah, I know when I've bought a couple hats. I bought this hat. I bought a St. Louis Cardinals hat. A couple other things. I mostly buy the vintage stuff. Are you saying that you get the majority of your business from the stuff you're manufacturing now?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I started 2.5 years ago. The growth is really interesting to me. If it's not interesting to anyone else,
It is. I think this is very cool.
Oh, it's good.
But when I started, my boss had just purchased our first run of like, we're going to get the fabrics and like, we're going to make these hats. So we got $3,000 worth of hats at that point, which was about 300 hats. And our latest order that we just put in was $75,000 of hats and probably, gosh, I don't even know how many thousand hats we just ordered. probably 20,000 hats.
Okay.
So the growth of like when I started, we didn't even have our own line to now our inventory is my main job, and it is so unbelievably hard to keep up with because we are selling hundreds of hats a day. Hundreds, like probably 300 plus hats a day, and those all have to be made.
That's
the next
exciting
day.
though, right?
It's exciting. It's a lot. It's a
Um,
lot. It's hard.
So it
So
sounds like a ton of
from-
growth really
Yeah.
fast. Is
Absolutely.
that, and we'll get to you, David, right after this one, then we'll freestyle on the work stuff. But is that kind of like the biggest challenge, is just the exponential growth, or is there other challenges you face that are like hard to overcome?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of challenges that we face, right?
Mhm.
That's kind of also what I focus on is all of our pain points. It's unfortunately my job. So I would say the growth, right? Because our bottleneck is production. So the growth is just supply and demand. It's really hard to keep up with the demand with the supply, as well as I'm going to say like our productivity putting into it. We're only so many hands. We can only afford so many
Mhm.
hands. So I think a lot of people don't realize that, you know, we're 10 people now, but we've been smaller than that we're such a big company and just so little people.
Mhm.
So little people. It's
I
very tough to keep up with.
Kind of a good problem to have overall, is to have so much demand that you're trying to keep up. So
Yeah, it is. It doesn't help me sleep at night, but it's good for the company.
what you have for us, David?
I was just gonna see from when you started to now if y'all changed location or if you like added warehouse or anything to keep up with that. Because I mean,
Yeah.
stuff like that you kind of have to have brick and mortar because you got to put shit in places. So
Oh, 100%. So we started in like it was kind of a commercial building. It was about 2,900 square feet. That's including the backyard though. So inside, probably 2,000 square feet. And we started with, I like to say 1.5 machines because we had like half of an embroidery machine kind of. It was the smaller kid version, if you can imagine, like a junior. Now we are in a 9,000 square foot warehouse. We have 16 machines.
nice.
So the growth it's there.
That's
That's
exciting.
there.
It's exciting.
All right, Shaggy, anything on Snag?
Where do you guys source all your vintage hats from?
Is that a
A lot of
secret?
places.
If I can ask,
No.
anyways.
You can ask a lot of things online, but I would say the beauty of what we've gotten now that is hard to get if you're not our size is people really just come to us. Our latest like big vintage vault of hats was a guy in North Dakota. He reached out and he's like, "Hey, I was collecting hats for a long time. I have 7,000 of these
Jesus.
vintage hats. A lot of them are dead stock, which means that they were never worn, never purchased." And he was like, "Do you guys want them?" And we were like, "Yeah."
Did you
So we
pay
drove.
or did he just give?
Yeah. We
Okay.
paid them. We got them for, I don't remember how much we got them for, right? But we bought the whole lot. So there's going to be some duds, obviously,
Sure.
in 7,000 hats, but there's also some insane gold, like a Rolex Orange Bowl hat. We got one of those. It was like
Oh, that's
$130. It's awesome. Yeah, so stuff like that we kind of get those deals now for the most
Nice.
part. Yeah,
It-
we don't mark things up
What's
too
that?
high for
Yeah.
our vintage. Like we like to keep our hats in the 30 to like 45 range typically, and then if there's obviously a banger hat, then it's gonna have to be a little bit more every so often. But we're pretty good on our pricing. I'd like.
Do you
to
have
say.
a favorite hat that's come through your stock?
Oh my god, that's such a good question. That's really tough to say. A favorite hat that's come through my stock. Dang, I wish I knew that question before because then I would like throw up a picture or something.
Hey,
with
you
it.
can this won't be up for a couple more days. If you find one or you think of one, we can throw it in.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna be able to talk about it, but this is gonna be we're gonna put it here. We're gonna put it in. I'm gonna say that it's my favorite hat. I don't know how I'm gonna talk about it, but I'll give you a picture because I definitely want to find a good one.
If you want to give me a description, I can insert my voice back in and it'll be cool.
Yes. Yeah. Can you do like a high pitched girly voice for me?
I can make an AI you by
talking like this. Hi, this is AI Nicole. I don't sound very close, but whatever. Honestly, my favorite hat. I think it is the Aspen one. I just love the hat. This hat was part of a lot we found from a gentleman in Wyoming. He actually used to own a company called Impressions in Denver. All of these hats were dead stock from the 90s that have not been replicated since. Back to real Nicole.
There we go. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Do it.
We've got
Yeah.
our hat connection. Everybody check out Snag. Do you want to talk about your Twitch career?
Yeah, we can if we have time.
Yeah, I think we touch on it real quick. We have a little bit of time here. So, Kimsey was your what was the like inspiration behind starting? Your favorite, least favorite? Like you're now on a hiatus. Is it just because you're busy?
Yeah, it's just because I'm busy,
Fair
unfortunately,
enough.
which sucks. And it sucks. I wish I was on a hiatus. I loved streaming on Twitch. I was wanting a creative outlet at the time where I could just speak my mind and hopefully someone would listen because isn't it just so fun to talk? Don't you just love telling your
I
opinion?
made a podcast. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to start a podcast by myself. And I feel like starting with other people was really, at the time, I was like, sounds tough. I was watching streamers. I love video games. Boom. Combine the two. Sounds great. So yeah.
Okay. And overall, like favorite, least favorite part of it? Is there specific moments that stand out?
Oh yeah. There are some really good streams. I tried to do some fun stuff, especially at the beginning when I had a lot more energy. So one of them was Drunk Twister. That was a good time. It was just me in my room playing Drunk Twister by myself. People on the internet never met him watching me. That's good. I did a lot of silly streams. I also loved like collaborating with other streamers. One time I held something called the Kimsey Cup. That was by far my favorite stream ever. I had my highest viewership, which wasn't crazy. It was 48 people viewing. And I got I think I got 20 creators on it.
Nice.
And I gave out like first, second, and third place gifts. And I had a co-host and we just narrated the whole thing and streamed Mario Kart tournaments and had like different, what is it called? What is March Madness? What is that called?
Bracket.
March Madness.
Thank you. Bracket. So it was like brackets and it was like IRL
Not
streamers.
just March Madness, but that's okay.
IRL streamers or like VTubers.
Okay.
And it kind of all just funneled into top 3. It was really fun.
What was that? What was that one you did with the marbles?
Oh man, marble races. That's the
Love
best.
marble
That's the
races.
tits. Let me tell you. Nothing gets better than watching the marbles on stream. That's just like the dares are all labeled are on a marble and then you watch them. It's just so entertaining.
I
could
love
do that
marbles.
for
I
hours.
love marble streams. There was a marble stream going for MLB records previous to
Really?
before the season. They do one of those online marble races and it predicts the record of every MLB team, goes the entire off season, and I will sit there and watch it for 4 minutes and 32 seconds every single morning.
Those ones are pretty good.
It's hard to capture attention like that these days. So that's actually extremely impressive.
Okay, so we'll keep it rolling. We do still have a game to get to. To wrap both of the things and all the things we just talked about together, if you could have any video game character as your personal fashion assistant, who would you choose and why?
Okay, so first of all, this question is pure gold.
Thank you.
Absolute knock out of the park. 10 out of 10 experience. But I clarifying question, is it their fashion sense that I adopt or somebody that helps me with fashion?
This is entirely up to your interpretation. I would say someone with great fashion would probably be someone great to hire because you're really interested in their outfits and stuff. But you could also say this character is very, very organized and good at things and can make stuff appear out of thin air. Maybe that's good for what you want. So
okay, so I interpreted this question differently because I actually thought about it for a while because it's just very important.
And again, you're the question answerer. It is your interpretation that we want.
Okay, so I might turn the question on its head. But I thought it was like, which character's fashion would you adopt? And it's got to be Link's from either Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I love it. I love Tears of the Kingdom. I love his tattoo. Like, it's not a tattoo sleeve, but, it's his arm. And it's like a sleeve, a tattoo. So sick. Absolute mint. He is, first of all, I'm going to say something. Link is a lesbian. Link is a lesbian. And I love it. And I stand for it. But another answer was, it's part of the lore. It's canon. It's a canon event. I've decided. Therefore, it's true.
Canon event.
You're speaking for the LGBTQIA plus community.
Plus L.
Always.
Link.
For late.
There we go.
He started
go.
it. What?
But also, did you guys grow up playing SSX Tricky?
Hell yeah.
No.
Man, I'll tell
I
you what.
love SSX.
The outfits in that game slap. So I thought about
Oh,
all
yeah.
the characters in there, and I was like, they were some funky dudes, and I expect
Mhm.
that. So I was like, I could be a funky guy. I could wear that, and that's all.
I would be Batman from Arkham and
Mm.
just walk around as
Yeah.
Batman.
Full
Oh
latex.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Fucking better powder up, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Gonna be squeaking.
I think we wrap the Nicole interview and get into our game today. That sound good?
Sounds great.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Nicole. Let's play just a minute. So game show music. I do have game show music. We'll put it in.
Hey.
But the general premise here is I've made 9 topics. Players are going to receive a random topic. They're asked to speak on it for a whole minute. And then each audience member gets to ask one question, if they feel so inclined, about their 1 minute rant. So our list of topics are as follows. Number 1, spiders. What are they? Number 2, explain how the statement, "I don't sweat, I sparkle," is applicable to day-to-day life. Number 3, without Googling it, describe the Rembrandt painting, "The Return of the Prodigal Son." Number 4, Google it. Describe the painting, "The Flatterers," by Peter Bruegel the Younger in 1592. Number 5, Chabo callback. What's the difference between margarine and butter? Number 6, what makes a person special? Number 7, what would you recommend doing while high on marijuana? Number 8, explain to a 5-year-old what your liver does. And number 9, what are the logistical challenges of hosting a boxing match between otters? And if you happen to get 10, you get to skip your turn for that round. So, random number generator, I think we start with Shaggy. Do you want to be
Real
our first
quick.
contestant? Yeah, what's up,
let's
David?
do it.
Real quick, reading Peter Bruegel the Younger, is that like how they used to say junior and senior? Like, was his
Peter
dad
Bruegel.
Peter Bruegel the Older?
Probably.
Okay.
That makes
I
the
just
most
wanted
sense,
to
I guess. Yeah.
I wish Peter was spelled
Okay.
like that more
Idiot.
often these days.
Peter.
Peter.
Peter?
Hey,
Peter.
Peter.
Peter Bruegel.
Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers.
I can go. Oh, David, you
All
want?
right,
Oh, I'll go.
Nicole, you're up. All right, you ready? I'm going to generate you a number, and then I'm going to
Okay.
set a timer for 1 minute. We're going to
Let's
generate
do it.
another random number here,
I
and if we
hope to
land on
God.
6 again, well, we're not doing that. So
Better not be 3.
9. All right.
Okay.
Explain. Oh, what are the logistical challenges of hosting a boxing match between otters? I'm going to start the timer now.
All right. I've got a lot of thoughts, and I'm just going to put them out. 1, how do we get a lot of water? 2, how much water do we need? What do we put it in? Is it a kiddie pool? Are we talking about, are we going to rent out a pool, like the neighborhood pool? What are we doing? Are we building a giant tub? Are we Mr. Beasting it? What's the vibe? How do we get them to not hold hands the entire time? That's logistical question. What are they doing? They're so cute. How do we get them to be aggressive? I feel like they're nice, friendly guys. They're just silly dudes. They don't want to fight. Do we like feed them cocaine so that they get all this energy? Do we pump them with steroids? Do we just put, one food in the middle and just tell them to fight to the death? Do we go Saw style? Do we have the pool kind of push in on itself until, there's nothing left to do? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
All right. So that is your time, pretty much. That's perfect.
Okay.
Would anyone like to start? I do have some thoughts.
Real quick, what is Mr. Beasting it?
Oh, saying we're gonna make a pool the size of the Great Wall of China. And
Okay.
put 1,000 otters on each team.
They're all gonna be fed with
A lot of
cocaine.
otters.
I don't know. Maybe more than that. Maybe the entire otter species. He's going big. He can't stop.
He still calls it Squid Game.
He's got to go. Yeah. Yeah.
So my thoughts were boxing. They need little tiny gloves. And I was like, how do you have to get the little tiny gloves? I like your thoughts on the water. I didn't think of the water at all. Can otters be on dry land?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like
Yeah.
they prefer to be in water.
You can box.
It's got to be
it'd look
fresh
a lot
water, too.
cooler.
Would they be
It would look
underwater
cooler.
or like half submerged like Godzilla?
Just creeping out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
you start in like deeper water and it's a slope up like a beach, and then you start in the deeper water and then you drag the loser up and like finish him on the sand.
Are you saying
That's
this
the
from the
finishing move.
perspective of the otter, or how do you
Yeah.
coax them from the water to the beach?
This is just my dream.
Yeah.
I did
crush
think.
my
I
dream.
mean, I did write the question. I had to think about it for a little while.
Like, I mean, what would I want to see? Like, what can we get
Could
the
they
Oregon
use
Zoo to
their
do?
tails?
That's funny.
Yeah, they can use
Yeah.
tails, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they could use their tails. Okay.
They got
Like
some
Do
to
we-
fight with, not for like support like a kangaroo, but to actually slap each other with.
Fair game.
Would there be a glove on the
Okay.
tail?
Oh.
If they're using little boxing gloves, I mean, it's like not having padding on your foot.
Yeah,
Good
that's
question.
true.
I like it.
Hmm.
So this is like kickboxing.
I'm going to say
Yeah,
triple
Yeah,
gloving
yeah,
it.
a little bit of both.
triple glove.
Tail boxing.
It's OMMA.
All right, Dave, would you like to go next here?
Guess so.
All right, random number generator. Here we go.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
Number 1,
One.
spiders. What are they? Here goes your timer.
Okay. So spiders are arachnids. They have 8 legs. They have numerous amounts of eyes. They can also range in size from a very small jumping spider to, say, a what is that in Australia? The big boys, the huntsman spiders. Yep. Yep. 8 legs again. They can be a little hairy at times. They're very quick to also being very slow. Depending on which ones, there can be a lot of venom that can be secreted. Black widows can cause a lot of damage. Brown recluse can also cause a lot of damage to just anything living. So if a human gets bit, they then have to take anti-venom for those bites, which can cost considerable amounts of money and can put you into a big health financial debt.
Wow, look at you. There's your 1 minute.
Dang.
Questions for the peanut gallery.
Are you Phil Swift? Is that
Am
a
I
lot
Phil
of damage?
Swift? Because that a lot of damage. Maybe. I did do a parody of Billy Mays in middle school for commercials we had to do for old Greek things, and my
You dye
name
your
was
hair?
Chili Days. No.
That is the most you-coded thing I've ever heard. That's perfect.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, I won that one.
Chili Days hair.
That like everyone got to give like fake money to different people in the class, and I got the second most. So.
Wow. Oh, so
Hell
I
yeah.
thought you said
I
you
put
won, so
in
you didn't win. You got second.
No, because of course the last guy, because of how it all went down, was basically the last guy got all the money because
He was
people
more
were just
popular
being
than you.
stingy as hell. Like, well, shit, we got to give it to someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any last? I think you did a pretty good job of explaining spiders overall. Got a little gory at the end. I feel like you could have got a little more into the anatomy of a spider, like making webs and stuff. But
I could have, but I went the health care route.
Gary,
So it's just how it goes.
I was really hoping to talk about Spider-Man, specifically Spider-Man
Yeah.
3, specifically the scene where he's doing this and he goes, "Dig on this."
Oh yeah.
So, but that's okay.
The Black Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3. Yeah.
Only Tobey Maguire
The
Spider-Man
hair
3.
flowing in front of his eyes there.
The hair. He's talking about there's not enough nuts in his cookies. That's really in the movie. It's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah. And for him to fix the damn door, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Solid cringy scenes from that movie.
I think it's pure gold.
Oh,
But I rest my case. Oh, all right.
We already did 6. 7. What would you recommend doing while high on marijuana? Nicole, hit us with it.
Okay.
And start.
I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna do one. I would recommend one. I wouldn't. I would recommend listening to your favorite album or the Avatar: The Last Airbender soundtrack on vinyl, volume all the way up. I would not recommend driving while wearing colored sunglasses that make the lights all look blue. Doesn't work. I would recommend taking a steamy shower. Ain't nothing better, let me tell you. And the thoughts you have, impeccable. I would not recommend trying to eat a 6-pack of peanut butter crackers. It does not go down well. I would recommend playing games with friends or some sort of socializing and being silly, goofy. I would not recommend sitting in a dark room alone with your thoughts only, because sometimes that causes a little bit of a little panic attack. Not good, not silly, not fun. I guess the last thing I would recommend is doing something outside. Boring, basic, but real.
Perfect. All right, Shaggy, your thoughts here as our resident drug guy.
I think doing something outside would have been higher on my list personally. I agree
Fair.
with the
Higher.
not driving with colored sunglasses, or for the kids in the show ever. Well, high, but
Well,
yeah, that's all I got. Well, actually, what would be? Is there an ideal cracker to eat while you're high? I feel like all crackers are kind of a no go.
they are, but have you ever, the 6-pack of the peanut butter is so
Yeah, the
damn
little
dry in the
orange
middle.
ones. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you get 2 crackers. So it's like
Yeah.
double the dryness. So that it was just one time I tried that and it scarred me for life. I'll never forget. It was a
Maybe-
challenge in and of itself.
Would that be better or worse than just trying to down a pack of saltines?
I think that would be
No, the
worse.
saltines make you puke. The peanut butter at least is a nice, like it. You might not think it's great, but it helps compared to just a saltine.
It
That's fair.
coats
That's
the
fair.
throat a little bit.
Yeah,
Goats.
What about saltine with butter and or margarine?
that sounds delicious.
That's where you
Sounds like
go. That's the
toast.
move. Hmm.
Maybe throw a cucumber on there.
Now we're
Ooh,
getting into weird
fancy.
territory.
Delicious.
You lost me.
Think I can afford a cucumber, bro?
Some bacon on there.
It's like a whole 62 cents.
All right, who's up next? Let's hit the numbers.
Oh.
All right, is it me
Sure.
Me or
or
you?
is it
Yeah.
Shaggy? Shaggy,
Either
no,
one.
it's I go last. Shaggy, you're up.
No, rock paper scissors.
No, we're going in the same order. Okay, without googling it,
3.
so don't Google this one. Describe
Okay.
the Rembrandt painting, "The Return of the Prodigal Son," and I'll
Ooh.
pull it up at the end.
Yeah. I'll wait till you start the timer, I suppose.
That is smart. Good call.
From what I know of Rembrandt paintings, I would say they're all a little dark, pretty earthy tones, a lot of them, and he'll do a lot of brighter oranges to kind of liven up the scene. So I would say that just based off the title, Return of the Prodigal Son, and the fact that a lot of titles and paintings don't make sense, I'm going to guess that really it's just a guy sitting there and he's just got a little pocket watch in his hand. And he's just staring at the dead forward, at the artist the entire time. But, in the background is a road and a house with not necessarily a power line, but there's agricultural equipment across the entire span of the scene. But the main jarring thing is the so-called prodigal son staring at you deeply, and amazingly, the painting is actually worth $3.5 million.
All right, so let me show
Gotta throw that in there.
y'all's "The Return of the Prodigal
Wait, before you
Son."
pull it up, I'm pretty
Oh.
sure. Yeah,
It's there. It's
I'm
up.
pretty sure I know because this is a biblical story actually. That was where the son, I think it was the oldest son, left his father with his, I guess, endowment or whatever the father was going to give him. He's like, just give it to me early. And then he squandered it and just didn't have any money left. And that son, to make ends meet, he went to go work for someone feeding pigs. And he was getting
Oh my gosh.
worse food than even what the pigs were eating. Yeah, I'm getting into it. It's not that much more. But then he thought about, man, like I'm getting fed worse than pigs. Like I should go back and apologize. And, you know, as he goes back, he doesn't think he'll get much of anything from his father. But once his father sees him, he, you know, goes to embrace him like this picture shows, calls for a feast. And there's kind of some other stuff there where the brothers are a little jealous of everything. But yeah, that's kind of the return.
Wow. That was
Okay.
very deep and I think
Damn.
probably accurate.
That is not what I was gonna say.
I chose this because it looked like this guy is getting head.
That's what I was thinking.
God.
You know, I'm actually pretty proud of myself that I got the main descriptors of a Rembrandt painting pretty
The
right.
dark and the oranges were right. You did a very good job,
David,
there.
where's the pocket watch?
These are all just
right
TikToks
before
right now.
watches were invented.
Gosh, I'm glad that you and I, Dan, are on the same page.
Yeah, you're welcome.
David
David Bicicleta. Number 1, you already had
I
spiders.
did that.
Number 8. Explain to a 5-year-old what your
God.
liver does. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So this is coming from someone who doesn't know anatomy too well and things like that. I will say I know that the liver can get fucked up if you intake
To a 5-year-old?
numerous
You want to say this
amounts.
to a 5-year-old?
Yep, because I can't think of anything else. Numerous amounts of alcohol can really destroy your liver. You can also get fatty liver that happens from alcohol or from bad diet or anything like that, and it can render your liver not working after a certain while. Yeah, it's something that you don't want to fuck up because it is a very important part of your body. You could fuck up your gallbladder instead if you want to fuck up something because that's a little more easy to not use. But yeah, you got to be careful with that liver.
All right. So as you were presenting this to a 5-year-old, my first question is, what does fuck mean?
Are you my uncle?
Are you my uncle?
So yeah, you don't need to answer that, but it was more rhetorical.
Yeah.
What does render mean?
Render. So when mommy and daddy are together, they fuck. I think that's all I gotta say for that.
That's how you were rendered.
Yeah, and then you were rendered. See,
Dear God,
Nicole, what word do you want me to describe?
I have no notes. You
want me to go more into fatty liver?
No.
Okay.
I think if I was a 5-year-old, I'd just giggle at fatty.
Oh, because then it could just stop there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's our show.
We did it. We did
Nicole, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, we'll do another one. We'll
yeah.
toss you back in. Well, you propose some ideas for some talkative points and come on whenever.
Cool.
Shaggy, as always.
Yeah.
David?
Tolerated it.
We'll get to Dean and Brennan along with our show end. Do we have a new song for this show end, David?
Yes. Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, give us the quick what's wrapping the end of the show.
So yeah, I have a song that'll be coming out soon, called "This Soul of Mine." It's a nice, little more chill track. Very ambiance-esque. Some nice clean vocals. But yeah, I'll throw that into the chat. It won't be out, or throw it into the description, but it won't be out until the 3rd of August. So yeah, that'll be coming out. But I'll put a little snippet in.
I don't know why when you said "This Soul of Mine," I thought of Bon Jovi, and in my head I was going just "Whoa, oh, 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 this soul of mine."
Close.
It's actually
Sweet
on
Child
the song.
of Mine.
Yeah.
You're thinking "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses.
I was like Guns N'
I thought
Roses.
it was Bon
Jesus Christ.
Jovi.
Yeah,
I know. I know. My brain is like Bon Jovi. That's
Axl
100% Bon Jovi.
All right, the latest Hooli track wraps the episode. Thanks everybody for coming on.
Thank you.
Finish it up, Shaggy.
What?
You have to stop it. You're in charge of
Oh,
this.
shit.
This week in fatherhood with Dean and Dad. This week in fatherhood. Dean is a daddy.
I think the recording has started.
Looks like.
Yeah. All right. So welcoming on Dean again for This Week in Fatherhood. I believe we're in episode 17 of the weekly meeting. If I'm not, then, I'll change that later. But welcome back, Dean.
Hey, Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a long day already, but I'm ready to chat with Mr. Father here for a little bit.
I like it. Well, give people a little bit of a expectation of where we're at. Our kiddo's due date is Monday. So realistically, he could come at any day, minute, whenever he sure decides to come, he's going to come.
Just pull that plug.
We have an appointment today, this afternoon, that there is a decent chance that they could say, yep, this is happening. Go upstairs. We're going to deliver this baby.
No.
That's a realistic chance today. So we have the go bag and the seat and everything ready if that's the case.
Exciting. Are you excited? Are you pumped?
I am pumped. I'm a little bit scared. I feel more nervous now than I have throughout this entire 9 months.
Fair
but
enough.
I am pumped.
Well,
So,
exciting. What do we got today? What are we doing?
all right. So because knowing that he could come at any point, there's this little bit of, like, you kind of know maybe what to expect a little bit of those first couple weeks with Buddy, but also to a certain degree, you have no idea what to expect. So what I have today for us to discuss, and then also for our thousands of listeners, is a betting slip of over and unders for the first 2 weeks of having a baby.
Okay. Perfect.
So as a degenerate gambler, Dan, this one's specifically for you.
I'm ready. I am a bit, well, degenerate's a loose term. I didn't bet on Ukrainian ping pong or anything, so I would say degenerate
Not
is
today,
more
at
of,
least.
at least not today. So
Right.
instead, I'm going to bet on my friend's child.
Right, exactly. That you still don't know the name for, which is so good.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay, so I'm going to give you the number. I'm going to give you the subject and the number, and then it's for us to decide what is what. And I've got 8 of these, and if
Okay.
we want to add something, we sure can.
Perfect. All right, let's
All
do
right.
it.
So, over the first 2 weeks, first 14 days of child being home is what we're going to consider. Because some of these we can't count if they're in the hospital for a couple days.
Mhm.
But first 14 days of being home as full-time parents.
Okay.
Okay. Over under average 12 diapers changed a day.
Is that, you've looked this up? You expect there to be 12 diaper changes a day?
It's kind of what it sounds like, is like 10 to 12.
Okay.
And also keep in mind that this number includes some inflation because I've never changed a diaper before. So there's a good chance that if I change one and then it's like, oh, that was a bad job and I throw it away, that's a diaper change.
Okay. Man, I'm thinking, like, I pee a lot, and babies got to be smaller and pee even more.
Yeah, dude,
So,
their stomach's the size of a quarter.
12. I'm going to go over. I'm going to say you're changing a diaper at least every 45 minutes of the waking hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the under, just because I'd like to say that he's got a strong bladder, and also that gives me an opportunity to be a negligent father.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take the under just to go on the other side of it.
Is diaper duty your number one main duty that you've worked out?
My plan is that I'm gonna change every diaper I absolutely can. If Allie's gonna go through all the 9 months of labor and then the however long delivery takes, my plan is I'm going to change every single diaper that I can.
Look at you, what a good father.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, number 2.
Okay. Over under 7 hours of sleep a day.
7
so-
hours? Okay, so naps included and stuff.
Naps included, right? Because, like, theoretically, he's going to be awake for like like an hour out of every 2 or 3.
Okay.
Like, he's going to sleep for an hour and a half, 2 hours, be awake for half an hour, eat for half an hour, and then go back.
So this is for specifically you?
This is me.
Okay.
Yep, I can count my schedule a lot more than Mama Bear's.
Okay. How much do you normally sleep?
Probably about 7 hours, but I'm not a napper. I just don't nap.
Never been good at napping, or you just...
Never been good at it. Don't like it. just hasn't been my cup of tea for the last 28 years.
7.5. That's a hard one. I am going to, in the first 2 weeks, I'm going to take the under. And then I think by the time week 3, 4 rolls around, you'll be trained in napping.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that. I think I'm going to take the over here. I think I'm just going to find a way to sleep while baby sleeps.
Okay.
So I think, 7 hours of sleep a day.
Okay. So far we're on opposite ends of both of the bets here, and I am betting against the person that...
Dan, but that's the thing. I know slightly more about all of this than you do. I have no idea what to expect,
Hey,
truthfully.
that's what you think. You think you know more, but I could end up winning all these.
That's true.
Yeah.
Baby photos taken a day. Over under 15.
Just by you, again.
I'm going to include my wife and I in both of those.
Okay. 15 a day. Does this include Snapchats? Or just photo roll, like just camera roll?
That's a great... Dang it. I'm gonna say photo roll, because if they're a good Snapchat, I'll typically save it.
Okay.
There's no double accounting here.
First 2 weeks, that's going to be 15 a day times 14. So we're looking at like 200 something photos in the first 2 weeks.
Right.
That seems very doable. And you're a big photo guy. I feel like I get the most photos from you when I wake up about just your pets. So yeah, okay, I'm going over, because yeah, I get at least like 5 photos a week of either Kenai or Hammy. So
yep. Wow, over 3. I'm gonna take the under here. But again, I have no idea what to expect. Dan, we're gonna get on board here, I promise.
that's okay. We should put some real money on this, and then I'm just gonna clear house.
I'll send it out. Yeah, I think we can make it.
Put the rights to your firstborn child on the...
Yeah, my second-born child. First one's already spoken for.
Yeah.
Benny. All right. The plan is that both of our parents are going to come when kiddo comes.
Okay.
Theoretically, they'll be in the hospital.
Okay.
Theoretically, they're going to stick around for a couple of days afterwards, once we're home, to like help and cook and hold and feed and all that. Of these 14 days, what day are we going to be tired of our parents being there? Over under day 6.
Tired of your parents being... Okay, so I did just have a friend in Oregon whose family came out while they were just leaving the hospital and such. And they were there for 2 weeks. And they said that they enjoyed pretty much every moment of that, because it was such a big like weight off, and sleep time and things were important. So I will take the specific was, what day will you be tired of them? Over 6 days. I think you might not get tired of them at all.
I'm going to be on the same path. We finally are aligned here. I think that they're going to be incredibly helpful, and both of them have been very respectful of us and our space. Will there be moments where I don't want them to be there? Sure, but I think that overall they're going to be an absolute net positive.
And there's enough space in your place for everybody to kind of have their own little space too in between all of this. So
yep. And there's a camper in our front yard, which I don't know if you know the whole saga about that. That's a different podcast.
Yeah, we talked about it at some point. We might even talked about it in some edited out sections of this podcast. But yeah, the camper in the front.
Yeah, now there's a new one. It's bigger.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, number 5, I believe.
Okay.
Baby outfit changes a day. Over under 4.
Outfit changes. How many baby outfits do you currently own?
1,000.
Okay.
Sorry,
Man.
that's maybe dramatic. 900.
Over
4.
Well, I feel like
sort of about like comfort and also blowout, which kind of goes back to the diaper changing ability to a certain degree.
I mean, I feel like if you're already changing the diaper, you might just change the outfit too. If you have 9,000 of them.
See, I don't know. I feel like I want to, in a perfect world, he gets 3 outfits.
3
he
outfits.
Has one in the morning,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
One just to change into, and then sleeping.
Okay.
For a day.
But like, who knows what grandma and grandpa are gonna do? Who knows what mom's gonna do? Of like, this one's cute.
I'm gonna take the over, especially since there's so many other people there they'll be helping out. They'll be like, "Yep, time for a new outfit."
Okay. I'm gonna take the over on that as well. Okay. Similar vein, burp cloths used in a day. Like I've got nieces who used like one a day.
Okay.
And I've got a nephew who probably went through 8 a day. He was just a slobbery little boy.
Are you slobbery?
I would not consider myself slobbery.
Little baby.
So
You did say big nose.
Big nose.
That's
so far.
slobbery.
Yeah. Yells slobbery. So over under 5 burp cloths used today.
5 a day. I'm going to go under. I don't think you'll need 5 a day. And for the most part, I think you'll just kind of reuse 1 or 2 for it at the end. You'll be like, oh, there's a little bit of puke on that one.
Yeah. It's kind of my thought. Yeah, just lick it off and go.
Okay, so the front half of this, we're kind of misaligned. Now it sounds like we're lining back up for the same opinions. Yep. Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna go under optimistically.
Okay.
And then last one here, the important thing to know is that Allie probably drinks 4 cups of coffee a month. But like doing all the things that might change. Cups of coffee consumed in a day by Allie.
So is there not, and this is something that I might be learning right now, you can drink caffeine while you're like breastfeeding and stuff? Is that a thing?
This is a really funny subject. So you can to a certain degree.
Okay.
You can drink alcohol and you can drink coffee while you're breastfeeding to a certain degree. The best time to do it though is literally while you are feeding.
Okay.
So there's like very funny visuals of like
just
child on boob
margarita. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's the best time to do it. But like I'm a big coffee drinker. I probably drink whatever the thing is here. Like I drink 10 times the amount that Allie has. So actually we're gonna change this not by day, but cups of coffee consumed by Allie in those 14 days. We're gonna say 10. Over under 10.
Under. I don't think Allie's life is going to change that much where she's like, time to pour a cup of coffee. I think she'll just not even think. I mean, if you're not drinking much coffee at the first place, you're not going to be like, yeah, I'll take a cup of coffee. Now's the time. Now's the day.
I, for whatever reason, want Allie to be a coffee drinker so that we can share it. So I'm going to, again, optimistically say over and just be like, hey, let me bring you a cup of coffee.
Okay,
I also get my own.
Influenced then on that one. Well, if you're putting a little, I should get like plus 200 odds on that one then.
Okay, I'll give you plus 200.
Okay,
I feel good. I think those are reasonable Vegas Dan odds.
Okay, deal.
So,
all right, I'll go back and when I listen to this, I'll insert a little bit at the end with a quick summary of all these ones we just went, and then we can revisit in approximately 3-ish weeks or whenever baby does arrive.
Sure. Okay. And I just sent you that as well. But yes, I think that whoever wants to knock this one out of the park for over-unders, have at it. And surely there's some actual father out there who's laughing at us right now because we're idiots.
Yes, I'm sure there is. Speaking of which, a little announcement, I guess, for This Week in Fatherhood segment. And I haven't ran it by you yet, who is the father of This Week in Fatherhood. But Baby Week, once little baby Benji has arrived, I'm thinking we do This Week in Motherhood, and I snag Carrie, and we'll do a quick interview with her as the flip side of all of this.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
So, a little spoiler for everybody listening. This Week in Fatherhood, whatever week little Benji pops out, will be This Week in Motherhood.
Perfect.
Awesome. Is that all you got for us, Dean?
That's all I got.
Perfect. Then we'll keep rolling with the show. Thanks for coming on again.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Yeah, Brennan's Sports Minute. Brennan's Sports Minute.
All right. Welcome to Brennan's. I think we just call it Brennan's Sports Minute. I think that's the final final title? What do you
I think that's where it's landed. It used to be least talked about sport of the week, but we've kind of transitioned into some of our sports being pretty well talked about. I don't know if that name is quite suitable anymore.
Yeah, Brandon's sports minute, and by minute we mean probably 30 minutes. We'll see.
Yeah,
But,
however long it takes.
We do have a least talked about sport of the week though this week. Do you want to like break down what we're talking about today?
I think we just roll through it. I think that with what's starting this week, I think people will gather what we're going to talk about. I think it's going to be pretty obvious by the time we get to the end of it.
Oh, for sure. Okay. Well, get us going.
Well, the first thing is to give you credit for predicting the winner of the Euros correctly.
Soccer
Picked
genius.
Spain, who I believe was the odds-on favorite. So really out on a limb.
I mean, you know, I like to win.
Well, you did. I took Germany, who lost to Spain in, I think, the second period of overtime, if I remember correctly.
That was in the quarters or semis, right? Which one?
It was quarters. It was quarters.
That sounds correct.
The semis were Netherlands was in the semis.
Okay, but anyway, soccer, Euros, go Spain, go Dan.
Yeah, good call. It was not as happy of a tournament once the knockouts started. I've said before that this is usually a tournament where you'll get at least one weird team in the semis. Like the 2016 edition, Wales made the semis. Iceland has made progress in this tournament. So I was pulling for Turkey. They were sort of the second home team of this tournament. Berlin has the second largest population of Turkish people outside of Turkey.
Okay.
And so it was very much like the kind of home crowd for the Turkish during this tournament, and I bet them money line against Netherlands, and they had Netherlands on the ropes, and they just didn't have the dudes. Netherlands is a lot more talented, but pretty classic matchups, and the Spanish are really good. Spain is really scary because it's not like the old guard of Spanish players. Like, they won the World Cup in 2010 in South Africa, and it's not like this old guard of Spanish players who are winning these matches. It's like the star of it was Lamine Yamal, who's 17.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are going to be around for a while. The German team's really young. So us picking those two teams, that wasn't like the thought necessarily, but those are the two teams that I'm looking at right now as the young teams that are going to be scary in international play. The French are... Sorry, go ahead.
Was that 17-year-old 16 at the start of the tournament? Am I correct on that one? Yeah. So, young kid. Yeah.
Yeah, like crazy young, playing in a huge tournament and hitting just a blister, like crazy goal in a huge moment for him. Again, I think against Germany, wasn't it?
Oh, again, far enough back, I don't know which game that was. It was one of the early ones.
But yeah, so those are two squads that I'm excited to see what happens in 2 years when they come to the U.S. for the World Cup.
Nice. Yeah, that's exciting. I wonder, should we get tickets?
And the U.S. is terrible. We don't have to talk really Copa, but like...
Yeah. Disappointing at the very least. I
am to a point with the U.S. men's national team, to take us on a little bit of a tangent, where they have the talent and the athletes, and they always have. I'm just super tired of watching them mismanage everything and keep managers on too long. And I feel like what they're missing is, because they have some strikers, but I don't feel like they have anyone who's creative, who can like pass and pick stuff apart and like set people up.
The coach on the field kind of guy.
Yeah, the goalkeeping is decent. They, like I said, they have the athletes, no doubt. They have attackers. There's no one. They need like a passing midfielder who can open everything up. They need that guy to come through. I think that they are going to continue to struggle unless they have that, because every team that you watch who was successful in the Euros, in Copa, has someone doing that, and I don't feel like the U.S. has that.
Gotcha.
And the development's finally coming through a little bit, so we'll see if they want to do anything about it. They have 2 years to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. And then hopefully, though, I mean, I'd love to actually see some World Cup wins out of the U.S. That'd be
and it's been like 15 years of soccer's really going to take off in this country, and it is popular. but like the Premier League was popular 10 years ago, and this isn't new. We're kind of just been cycling in this same gear for soccer in this country, at least men's soccer in this country, for a while. And if it doesn't break through when the World Cup is literally here, I don't know what's going to happen, especially because the NFL's literally never been bigger. And the NBA, even though the TV cable numbers aren't as good, which is not maybe the best way to measure the popularity of a sport today, the basketball media bubble and all of the things associated with it is huge.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if soccer is going to be able to grab a hold of it if it doesn't take off in 2 years. Here's your
Moving
soccer
on.
minute.
That's talking soccer.
Let's talking soccer with the boys.
What else we got? What's next on the docket?
Well, something that has taken up I checked my PlayStation day that has taken up 34 hours of my last like 5 days.
I want to check my hours.
EA College Football 25, which is not an unpopular topic right now. I feel like everyone's playing it. I saw the concurrent play numbers on Saturday, and it was like 7 digits worth of people online at once playing this game.
Sounds about right. It's definitely kind of taken. It's like taking the sports world by, or at least the football fan world by storm a little bit. I mean, I don't even watch much college football.
Video games.
Yeah.
And cares about sports is playing this game right now. I love this game. I played a lot of the old ones. I had it on my PlayStation 2. I remember I had the one with Jared Zabransky, who was the quarterback for Boise State when they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl on the Statue of Liberty play.
Of course, the one everyone remembers.
Look it up on YouTube, Dan. It was right at the beginning of Boise State becoming a big deal. They were still in the WAC, in the Western Athletic Conference. They played Adrian Peterson, Oklahoma, in the Fiesta Bowl. I was snowed in at my grandparents' house in the middle of nowhere, and they needed a touchdown to get it to overtime. They hit a hook and ladder across the middle, dive for the pylon to get it to overtime, score on a halfback pass in overtime, go for 2 to win it, and then win and a Statue of Liberty and beat Oklahoma. And like I said, that was Adrian Peterson, Oklahoma. It was one of the best games I've ever seen in my whole life.
I noted. I do have a YouTube. I will find this.
Yeah, find it on YouTube. But I've been playing it since then. My copy of NCAA 14, the last one that they had released, I think I probably have like 500-ish hours of gameplay on that game. And so I'm just happy it's back. Rather than boring you with our dynasties, because you don't care.
Yeah.
Whoever you are listening in whatever living room you are in right now. I just want to give our thoughts. What do you think of the game, Dan? I know you played Madden, but you haven't played as many these games. I want to hear your thoughts on the game before I give mine.
I overall very much enjoy it. It's been a very long time since I've seriously played a sports video game of any stature, whether it's NHL, even the MLB games, which I probably have played the most recently. Any of the Maddens. So it was a bit of a learning curve coming back into it. Overall, I really enjoy how the gameplay is a little different from Madden. There's like more open pockets. There's worse tackling. The kicking's a little bit harder. It kind of makes sense for college football. Yeah, the kicking is brutal. And so I overall love the coach mode, the dynasty mode. Just playing with you guys, with you and Mike is very fun, and it actually seems to level out quite a bit, even though you generally have more sports and play call knowledge. And the only downside I can say is for the first like 14 to 16 games, I probably threw about 160 interceptions.
Dude, it's so bad.
Other notes, I mean, I tried the player mode, the like single, like you can, Road to Glory. There's 6, I think, positions you can choose for that. I'm a halfback because running comes easy, and I didn't think I would spend too much time into this, and so it sounded like the most fun. That I think is objectively worse than what I've heard about the previous player modes. Is that what you kind of think? Have you tried it?
I haven't tried it yet. But I've heard a lot of feedback from people of what it is, and I can definitely give comparisons there. But I have not tried it, so I'm not going to be super critical yet.
Yeah. I mean, like you noted, and like a lot of people have noted, the not starting with a full high school year seems kind of silly because that is just a fun add-on. Like, why not? Um, and then they kind of lean into some of the NIL stuff, which is entertaining in a way, but it's also like, I don't know. You want me to go sign a deal with Bob's Tires, and I don't even like that's what I have to click yes or no on. And so I don't know. It's fun. It's cool. You get the proper amount of playtime for your level of player, which I think they broke out really well. But overall, I mean, the mode that shines the most is the Dynasty, the run the franchise, run the I guess school football program, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I like I said, I've put in like almost 35 hours, and almost all of it's been into Dynasty mode. As far as stuff I love about the game, I do love how it plays. It
Mhm.
does feel like college football. It does not feel like a Madden clone. I appreciate one thing. This is just one thing to pick out. It feels a little bit more balanced in terms of how college football works a little bit.
Mhm.
In one thing I remember from previous games, because I used to play a lot of Road to Glory in the old games, and you could just truck dudes. Even though I had good stats, it was a lot more powerful to just run through people. Well,
Mhm.
in more realistic fashion, it's not really that way in this game. Even if you have a big running back or a tight end, you can't just do the run through people and score touchdowns strategy like you used to be able to do. It
Yeah.
still feels fast and chaotic like college football, but it's not quite as arcadey. It's arcadey in a fun way that it is quick hitting and that you can score fast and things like that, but it's not arcadey in terms of what's good and what's not. I do feel like a lot of different plays work. The running the football really is really good. I feel like it's really fluid. I can make minute adjustments with the left stick that I could never do in old games.
Yeah.
As far as things I don't love, because I want to say that I'm loving it right now. I'm having a great time. And I also understand that this is the first iteration in a long time, so it's not going to have everything. So I'm
Mhm.
not trying to like come down hard on some of this stuff. But as far as things that I think there's a room for growth for, it sounds like Road to Glory. Like I said, I haven't played it yet. Um, Almost more than the high school experience part of it, I'm pretty disappointed you can't play as more positions. Like the
Mhm.
fact that I can't play as like a defensive end is crazy, or a tight
That
end.
is true. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Those are
Like
very
pretty
notable
core like
positions.
carry. Like, it's not like I'm trying like I do remember in old Madden games when you used to be able to create like offensive linemen. And so I would create like tackles and
Mhm.
just get like 7 pancakes a game. As far as some of the presentation stuff, the stadiums look beautiful, things sound good. I would love more variety in the presentation. And again, that's something that falls under the category of like this is going to have room to grow sort
Mhm.
of situation, but like I've heard Mo Bamba conservatively 500 times in
Yeah,
the last 5 days
I can
because
agree with
of
that.
that's what plays every team plays in the fourth quarter. Same with the what the opening song, like
Mhm.
the EA Sports intro. That I like that, and then I also have commentary muted at this point. I know that they recorded a lot. I know that these guys put in a lot of hours doing it, but it's so repetitive and it
It
feels really like
beat me up, man.
yeah, it's not really my favorite part of it. I would just as soon listen to like the sounds of the stadium. Like that's how I prefer to play the game, but part of it's because the commentaries get repetitive and things like that. So some of those presentation things could use some love. Also because we're CSU guys, the Cam the Ram and also the Cannon Comatose are not in the game, so that's kind
Yeah.
of disappointing personally.
There's room for growth. I think that's just kind of the summary there. And I don't exactly know how the sports video game world works. I know in a lot of like more recent games for across the board, they've been pushing updates for adding stuff like that to different games. I don't know if they'll do that with this one,
I would
but
expect consistent updates. I don't know if it'll have presentation stuff, but I know
mhm.
that like so again, we'll take CSU for example. The Ag Day uniforms and the State Pride uniforms are not currently in the game, but they will be.
Oh, that's
So
very cool.
uniforms and different things like that, I would expect to keep getting added throughout the season, as well as updated rosters. Like there are some CSU like late summer signees that just showed up to campus recently that aren't in the game yet.
Nice.
I would expect that kind of stuff to come forward. I have no idea if any updates will include presentation things. But I know that there will at least be some of that inbound. But I'm super pumped to keep diving more into this game. I know we were talking about Online Dynasty earlier today. I'm excited to get that up with you guys. I haven't played a video game very consistently in a while, and so I'm really stoked to be doing this. And it's great to be back.
What's your one note on our dynasties? What's your coach name?
Holden McGroin.
I have a Frenchie Fries. Is that our college football 25 notes?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I'm really excited it's back. People don't need to hear about our dynasties. If there's a drastic change in it, I think we'll check back in on it. But it just is fun to have this kind of gaming back. Madden is frankly in trouble, I think, because this game feels really good. And I'm really curious to see what those numbers look like. Because I know there was a bundle you could buy it in, but like I haven't bought a Madden game in 7 years. I'm absolutely not going to buy one when I have this video game. So
overall, 4.2 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 point. Yeah, I think that's about right.
Okay.
4.2. Room to grow, but as far as a base goes, and like I'm just encouraged by the fact that the part we're griping about is like mostly presentation and modes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They already patched some of the balance stuff with the Sims, and so I think this is a base where they can make this really, really good if they keep growing it the right way.
Perfect. All right, what's our last bit here? What's our last?
Well, like I said, I think with opening ceremonies on Friday and stuff. I think people can guess what we're going to talk about. That's right, the World Games, not the Olympics. And know that
we already had our
Olympics
preview.
Olympics start on Friday. There was
Mhm.
already soccer and rugby today, but I think that we can all agree that the thing that we're most excited about in terms of international sporting competition is the World Games.
Of course. Shout out to Carrie for I think bringing this to our attention.
I'd never heard of. I heard of this competition for the first. Was it yesterday?
Yeah. As of yesterday. Do you want me to read off at least some more notable sports that are
Well,
included in this?
before we go into what sports it is. So we're kind of just talking about this. So the World Games are it's sort of the Olympics, but it has far more variety of sports, and I don't want to say less serious sports, but like there are sports that are going to be outside of your normal, even past like the Olympics now have like breakdancing and stuff in it. They're even past that. There's some things in the World Games that didn't quite make the cut for the Olympics, and I did also. My understanding is that the selection process is different in that rather than with the Olympics, your country's federation selects people to send, like delegates.
Okay.
In this one, it's the federation for whatever sport you play. So if you're an archer, then the international, like the archery federation, is the one making the calls and organizing how athletes are chosen to attend this event.
I like that.
So it's a little bit different in that regard as well, but it's still like high level. For a million. It's not something that's been around super long. The first World Games happened in 1981 in California, and then the last one was in the prestigious town of Birmingham, Alabama, 2 years ago. Birmingham didn't deserve that shot, but it's just the Olympics are in Paris, and then and all these places, and then it's in Birmingham.
I mean, I don't want to undersell it too much. They did do London in 1985. They did Akita, Japan in 2001. And so it's definitely smaller cities overall, but still notable places.
Totally. And it's scheduled again in Chengdu, China next year for the next edition.
Mm-hmm. Mildly topical because the inaugural edition of the 2024, I guess, qualifier, essentially. Like the inaugural leg of the World Sports Games series is in Hong Kong, China, from the looks like 11th to the 13th of October of this year. So it's coming up. We need to everyone get prepared, put your bets in. World Games is coming.
Absolutely. And then we mentioned competitions. Do you want to highlight some of the ones that are in common with the Olympics and maybe some that are not so much?
Yeah, the second one on the list here is air sports. So that's canopy piloting. So essentially, the guys that jump out of airplanes, and then they have the
flying
big
squirrels?
parasail. It's like a U-shaped thing. It's basically
I think you meant
parachuting.
like the wingsuits.
Nah, no, it's
That would be way
the canopy piloting. There is skydiving. There's paragliding. Drone sports is another section of the air sports contest. There's American football, which is not in the Olympics, right?
No, it is not in the Olympics.
I think archery's in both. Is archery in both the Olympics?
Yes,
and...
archery. As far as ones that it has in common, like archery, it has archery in the Olympics, handball, field hockey, racquetball, gymnastics, a couple of the martial arts events that are in both, like karate is in both, bodybuilding. So some in common, and then as I continue to look through life saving.
Yeah, life saving. They throw so I looked this one up. They throw a big like a lead dummy in the water. It's a very heavy dummy, and
That's crazy.
People have to jump in and rescue it like you're a lifeguard at a pool, essentially. And they time you, and that is the competition.
They also have casting, not fishing. There's no fish, no bait, no nothing, but it's with a fishing rod, and you just cast for distance on dry land.
See, another one I'm excited about here, billiards. Big billiards guy.
I hope that's like darts competitions, like professional darts competitions where you can like smoke cigarettes.
Oh, you better try it. It's gotta be. They've got. I mean, this room looks pretty nice. You're in China. You're probably okay to.
They have some interesting martial arts that are not a part of traditional Olympics, like jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. They have sumo in the World Games.
Nice.
You can also they have baseball and softball, American football, lacrosse. What in God's name is korfball?
Korfball. Let's find what this one is. Korfball. So I don't know, because when I looked at the picture, I thought it was what's the game? The game tetherball? Yeah, where you smack it around. So
that was my first thought too, but it doesn't look like the ball's on the string, so I don't know how this sport works.
Yeah, there's a post. Oh, okay. There's a bucket at the bucket. It's like basketball, except for there's no backboard.
Okay.
That's what I'm interpreting from this. It's some kind of combination of essentially basketball and maybe a little bit of soccer with no backboard. So I'd essentially call it basketball, no rim, and it's more in a circular sense. You can go behind where the rim would be in basketball.
Gotcha. Interesting. So yeah, it's super cool that there's an alternative competition that has some funkier stuff. I'm definitely gonna watch some Olympics, and I do enjoy the Olympics, but I'm gonna find out how to watch this in a year.
Remind me in 376 days that the World Games is starting. All right, so that gives me a couple days. The official start is August 7th, 2025.
Nailed it.
All right. Is that our sports minute for this week, Brennan?
I think that's our sports minute.
Awesome. Thanks for coming back on, and we'll wrap up the show.
We'll see you next time.
Troubled by the soul of mine. I am so troubled by the soul of mine.
You have to understand how things are up here.